In this podcast episode, I'm going to talk to you about why I couldn't do what I'm doing right now if I was alone. This is a Detailing Business Class podcast. Good morning, good evening, or good night, whatever time it is that you're listening or watching this. I appreciate you being here for a few minutes where we talk about why I could never do this alone. Hopefully, it opens your eyes to a few things when it comes to running a business and doing more things in your business and, subsequently your life as well. And we'll just go straight into it. Just this should be like a rather short one. But anyway, so I get asked, actually, I don't get asked too often, but the question does come about every now and then of, hey, Oscar, like, how do you, do all, like, how do you post so much content? Like, you post on YouTube and on Instagram and on TikTok, and there's Detail Group and Proper Care, and you have the podcast, and then you're still doing the detailing business thing, and you're selling courses. Like, how do you do all this? Like, what, how are you able to do all this in throughout the week? And the secret to getting more work done, and not just more work done, but having a bigger impact, right? In whatever way you measure that, or that you think that impact is, right? That'll be different for everyone. The way you have more impact and the way things move forward, faster or bigger, or in whatever capacity that you're measuring it. The way to get that in a better state is by having a team. Like, that's literally it. Like, you as one human being can only do so much in the day, and there's no way without getting help, without having people, even the small team that we have. If we don't have them in place, like, I can't do half the things that I do, and that's just the pure reality of, like, me now being able to post on YouTube for Detail Group, for Proper Care, posting the video version of the podcast on YouTube, to posting the podcast reels on the Instagram, to posting two Instagrams on my Detail Group account, to posting one or two per day on the Proper Care account, to doing all the, like, just on the content side of Detail Groove. Like, I wouldn't be able to do a quarter of that if I still had to go and answer every email from every customer, pick up every phone call, schedule every job, do every job, turn in the vehicle to every single customer. Like, if I had to manage literally 100% of what I was doing, I wouldn't be able to do a quarter of what I'm doing right now, right? Because that's the whole point of, like, again, this is 100% predicated on your goals and what you want to achieve, right? There's never a right or wrong answer of, like, oh, you don't want to have a team, or you don't want to do all this extra work that you can do. Like, it's all predicated on what you want to achieve and what you'd like to do in life. And again, going back to the impact that you like to have, the money you'd like to make, or the lifestyle that you want, that's all going to determine what you're going to do with your business. Is there anything wrong with just being a one-man band and just doing most of the work, and you kind of just have a pretty steady, consistent schedule and business? No, not at all. If that's what you're going for, if that's what you are striving for, if that's where your zone's at, there's nothing wrong with that. But the way, like, to this point, and from now moving forward, like, it's never gonna go down from where it is right now. Obviously, this is just like my me hoping, right? Like, things could always go wayside to any business at any point in time. That's just reality. But from, like, right here moving forward, like, it should never get less of what we're doing, right? There should always be more movement, more progress, more impact, more growth from here moving forward, because that's what I specifically want. But even now, right, before, people always like, oh, well, you don't have a team of like 20 people. It's like, even with a team of just one extra person, right? Not to handle content or whatever. Like, if you were to just get one extra helper, part-time helper, after the training and all that, and they get up to speed on how you work and stuff, that one person, even 25, 30 hours a week, right, helping you do details, that'll help you do a lot more in your business. Because instead of focusing on, let's say, 50 out, like, 40 hours detailing and then 10 hours doing admin stuff, not even that, let's say you still detail 40 hours a week, right? But because you have a part-time helper working 20, 25, 30ish hours per week, you're now able to do more cars and make more money in that same given time frame than if you're just by yourself. And yes, when you hire someone, trying to hire someone, looking for someone, trying to find a part-time helper, all that, like, it is difficult, right? There's always an obstacle to everything. It's not like you just go and pick someone and say, hey, here's how you detail. This is what we're doing. Let's get after it now. It's like, it doesn't work like that, right? I haven't. I haven't talked about this frequently, but if you go to, I can't even tell you what podcast episode it is, but I've talked about it a few times months ago of like how for every one solution you come up with, there's five other problems. So yes, like is hiring an employee or I'm just saying hiring help. Is hiring help difficult? Yes. Is finding the right person difficult? Yes. Is training someone difficult? Yes. Is keeping someone in your organization difficult? Yes. Like yes to all those things, right? Because you just want someone to help you to do their best and to like help you grow the business. But to find that person that's able to do that, that's competent to that has a skill set that you want, that is like believes in what you're doing and is able to be trained by you. Like it's difficult to find that one person. So like it's a lot of work. But again, it I do say this 100% of the time. It all comes back to what you want to achieve in life. You know, I'm gonna keep on. I'm like a broken record right now, but I've been saying this for a while now. Is that like with me, I'm not again at this point. We have one, two, three people with us, four including me, right? Small team. But even with the small team, we're able to have such a wider impact and do so many other things in one given day because everyone has their task to complete, right? Like if it was up to me, as in if it was just me working on everything, there is no way. It's literally impossible because I wouldn't have enough bandwidth per day to do what I do now if I don't have everyone else in place, right? And everyone is doing their part in the business. So, for instance, of course, when I started, and for so many years, I answered every email, I picked up every call, I booked every customer, I serviced every vehicle. That's one thing. And then when I started doing Detail Groove, I would on top of that, I would do my YouTube videos, right? And as things go on, as you progress, as you grow, as just things happen, you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna add Instagram now. Oh, I'm gonna add the podcast now. Oh, we're getting more calls now. Oh, there's more customers now. Oh, I want to add TikTok now. Oh, now there's a Instagram page for the podcast. There's an Instagram page for Proper Care. Now there's a YouTube channel now. And like as you add more things, if you want to get to everything that you want to do, you need more help. Like there's no way you can go about like you can't do everything yourself. And if you do want to do more and not necessarily even do more because there's a lot of ways that you can look at this, right? You could hire someone because you're working 60 hours a week and let's just say, you hire someone and they help you drop you like and they help you get from 60 hours a week to 40 hours a week in detailing, right? And let's not say like, yeah, keep on growing, keep on getting more customers, whatever. Let's just say it drops you from 60 hours a week to 40 hours a week. Yes, you have to pay that part-time helper, duh. But even just having that part-time helper gives you more time back to go do whatever else you want to do. Right? Is that hanging out with friends, family? Is that going out and traveling? Is that whatever? Like even if you get a part-time helper just to knock down how many hours you're working and you don't have that mindset of like, oh no. If I hire you, bro, let's keep on pushing and growing. Let's not even say that. Let's just say you want your time back, right? Hiring a helper helps you do whatever else you want to do, right? So in my context, I'm gonna say if I hire someone, it's because I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to keep on pushing, upload more, get more cars in, do whatever, right? But that's what I want to do. You could hire someone and say, man, like I'm working 45 hours a week. I'd like to get to 30 hours a week and still make I'm making up numbers here, $1,500, $2,500, $4,500 a week. And it's like, yeah, if I just hire someone and I pay them, I'm making up numbers here, $13 an hour, they're working 25 hours a week. That cuts me down to 35-ish hours. I'm still making this. I pay that. Okay. And like I can still go live my life by working 35 hours a week. Like, yeah, that like you can do that. So, you can only do so much for so long. And again, yes, like you have to have your business, you have to have customers, you have to have revenue because obviously, like if you think about building a team, it only keeps on costing more money, right? Like if you want to go and offer new services or create more services, like as you grow or as you expand in whatever regard that is, whether it's like, oh, you know what, I want to get a new van, oh, I want to get a new shop, oh, I want to hire someone, it always just means you have to spend more money. So yes, money is leaving your account. You will spend more before you make more. Like that's the way business goes. Like you have to have a lot of faith in what you're doing, and you have to, be committed and believe that what you're doing is going to lead to more success and lead to more revenue and lead to more growth. Because oftentimes, when you wanna grow, you're gonna do it before the money is there, right? So if you want to go and get a new van, whatever, right? And I don't know, I'm making up all these things are made up. And you're gonna finance it, and it's gonna be, I don't know, $400 a month plus, commercial auto insurance, put it at 500. I don't know. put at $500. And then on top of that, you have to outfit that van, and you're gonna get a generator, air compressor, reel, hoses, all that. You're gonna get a 75 gallon water tank, whatever, right? Well, you're gonna end up spending, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 in this van before you actually get it out and start making money with it, right? But it's like, so you have to have faith in what you're doing, because most of the time that you do things, you're spending a lot of money and not seeing a return on it, because it's like, okay, yeah, because in the future, once things actually start get up and running, that's when you actually start seeing that return. It's the same way when you hire someone, where whether it's a tech or whoever, where it's like the first 30-ish, 40-ish days, it's not like you guys are moving full speed, because you're training them, you're looking over them, they're asking a lot of questions, they're getting to know you, they're getting to develop the system that you're running, or what that tandem is looking like between you two. And it isn't till the 30th, 40th, 50th day that you're like, oh, okay, see, now we're catching our groove. So in the beginning phases, actually, it's opposite, to where you actually slow down, because you're used to moving at your own pace. You're used to doing your own things. You're used to doing, what you need to do to be the most efficient. But as you bring someone on board, it's like, yeah, well, I got to train you to do this. This is how we do that. This is why we don't do this. And you actually slow down when you get a helper, right? But you slow down for a little bit. That way, after 30, 40, 50 days, you actually speed up double of what you were before you hired that person, because now you're working in tandem with two people. And I mean, again, you can go back to my podcast video, my older podcast, or even YouTube videos, to where when I had first hired Anthony, and I kept on just talking like how much easier it is to knock out 3, 4, 5 cars in a day, because I have literally someone else helping me, right? Like, I'm not doing everything myself. And even at that time, I was fully not optimized with our van. Like, I just had one vacuum, one generator. I had no air hose. I had no, reel. I had no big water tank, no pressure washer. And even so, just having with two people working, it's like, it's so dramatic different, because it doesn't necessarily cut down your time in half, especially if you don't have the proper setup for it. But it still does greatly help you speed up the process when you have someone else helping you. So yeah, I mean, the way to get more done is simply having a team. And again, and I don't want you to think team like, oh, I need 4, 5, 10 different people, 40 different people. Just one extra person that knows what their role is, that knows what they need to do in order for you to like maximize your time, or to get more output out of what you're doing, is a big game changer. And look, like the reality is, like, with most of the things that you're doing in your detailing business, right? Like right now, with most, like if you're driving to a job right now, if you're just left a job, if you're whatever, right? Most of the things that you're doing in your detailing business on a day-to-day basis, anyone can probably do, right? Most things that you do in your business, it's not that difficult, right? I mean, even go from, like right now, if you look at your entire timeline of what you do, right? Let's say you reply to customers, you talk to customers, you show up to the customer location, you do the work, you call the customer out, accept payment, go back to the next job site, or go back to the shop, right? Of all that, maybe like 40% of it, it's like, yeah, that requires me, because I know those details, I know that information. So obviously you wouldn't put anyone on answering the phone call or responding to customers, because that's the you thing, right? Because you know the services, you know the details, you know how you want that experience to go with the customer, right? But now, what about when it comes to folding towels, cleaning pads, filling chemicals, scrubbing a tire, prepping the vehicle for cleaning the wheels, tires, the rubber, washing the vehicle, claying, iron decontaminating it, all those things, wiping out the door jambs, vacuuming the interior? Is that something that only you can do? Now, of course, you're going to say, well, yeah, because I have, no. Are you telling me that no one else in your area can do that amount of work if you train them? Right? And it's like, it's just a limiting belief. If you're saying, no, I have to do this, like this, this is because this is how I do it in my business. Don't get me wrong. You have your own systems, your own techniques, your own forms, your own methods, yes. But as far as who can actually get put in place to do that, it could be just about anyone, assuming they have the right criteria of like being able to work hard, being able to listen, or they're good at working in teams. It's like anyone else can do that. So you have to ask yourself, in 5 years, in 3 years, in 5 years, in 7 years, in 12 years, do you still want to do the same thing on your own? Right? Do you still want to go there and pick up every call, respond to every email, wash all the towels, fold all the towels, fill up all the chemicals, go out and scrub the tires and clean the wheels and clean the engine? Right? Is that because that is the reality of what's going to happen if you're not looking, into the future and saying, okay, what do I really want to do? right? And I'm not saying in regard of like build a big old team, like keep on growing the business, but it's like, you know, where how old will you be 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 4 years from now, right? And it's like, one, do you just want to keep on doing that, right? Do you really want to be, okay, we're doing another correction and coating, so let me start scrubbing the tires, cleaning the wheels, let me do the wash and clean. It's like, that's not where your time is most valuable, which leads me to my second point of, again, as you know, if you've been in business for 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, 16 years, and you're looking down the road of 5 to 10 years, and now you've been in business for 15, 20, 25 years, at that point, you're most like skilled, or you're most skilled and you have the most experience, and your value in what you do at that point is at the tail end of everything. Meaning, like let's say a correction and coding, right? Because that's like the big ticket items of 1200, 1800, 2000, right? So on a truck that's getting a correction and coding, right? And that you're charging the customer $2,000, let's say. Of that entire process, let's say it takes you 14 hours, right? I'm making up numbers here. Where you're most used and where your skill set comes most in handy is on the correction and coding part. Everything up to that point, just about anyone else can do. Again, the prep work, cleaning the tires, the wheels, the fenders, washing the vehicle, cleaning out the emblems, cleaning the vehicle, doing an iron decontamination, drying it, taping the emblems of the plastic. All that can be done by anyone else, right? So of that entire 14-hour process, your most skilled should be used on the last 5 hours or whatever, making up numbers, the last 5 hours of the actual correction, polishing, and applying the ceramic coating. So again, it's just like you really want to challenge yourself, because like, to make that shift of like, okay, I'm by myself, whatever. It's like, oh no, I should hire someone. And then you go into that snowball effect. Like, it's better you at least have that idea in your head, And look, if you're younger, one thing I wish I would have done earlier is to not think so small of like, oh, I can do all that myself. Like, if I can go back to when I was 20, I don't know, how old am I right now, 29. So if I was like 24, 23, I would immediately try to say like, I wouldn't even try to pay well, yeah, I would obviously, but I would say more so like, how can I use the money I have now to go hire someone to keep on pushing forward? Like I made a decision a little too late, not late as far as it's past my time. I'm just saying like, I wish I would have just done it sooner, because I would just be able to move that goal line much faster had I started to get more get a team together. And again, and by team, I mean literally if I just hired someone for part-time hours for 20 25 hours a week. That's what I mean. I don't mean like, oh, get all, no, I just mean like someone helping me, so I can get into that mindset of like, oh dang, so even if you're here for just 20 hours, like that already helped me out a lot. So what if I, it just get that wheel turning of like, oh, okay, I see it now. If I have someone helping me, that changes a lot of things. And again, like once you start getting into like, oh, should I hire someone? It's like I myself, again, this is how I hold myself to that to this. Like, again, I'm not saying this to anyone. I'm not saying like this is the I'm not saying this is the global definition. Just to myself, right? If you are a business owner, and let's just keep it obviously specifically to detailers, right? So for one, I think you become like an actual entrepreneur or more of a business owner or a CEO once you actually hire someone. Even if you're doing your business full time on your own, that's still completely different than when you hire someone on like under your wing, saying this person is coming to you every day, every week, whatever, for a check. They are, again, not saying like you're paying for their lifestyle. It could be a 19-year-old that's like, here for the summer college, whatever, right? But until you hire your first person, part-time, whatever, I'm not saying full-time salary benefit. No, I'm just saying you're part-time, whatever. That's when you actually say, okay, so this is how the game's played then. Because when you're by yourself, a lot of things can go wrong. You can miss a lot of things. You're still very, very flexible if it's just you. But once you actually have someone that says, hey, yes, I want to work for you. I am, entrusting you that you're going to have hours for me and you're actually going to pay me. Then that becomes a different ballgame. Again, that's just the way I look at things. I'm not saying there's right or wrong. I'm not, pointing anyone out of like, oh, you're still weird. No, I'm not. I'm just saying for me, how I see things, how I see what I'm doing, right? Again, like how I said, from this point forward, I don't want to be smaller than 4 people not ever again, but I'm saying like I just want the team to continue to grow because that leads to a bigger impact. Once you have everyone in place and everyone has their own responsibilities, everyone does more towards the primary goal of whatever that might be. Which again goes back to my next thing. I think I have a podcast specifically on this as well, to where like you have to be careful of like who you're listening to and like what kind of information you're consuming, because if if you want to go do this one thing and you're following people that are doing a completely different other thing, those things don't connect and just kind of cloud your mind of what your next action should be or like how you think about the business or world or whatever, right? So in the context of us detailers, obviously, it's like when someone asks like, "Hey, it's like, who's your favorite detailer?" or like, "Who do you watch or who do you listen to?" It's like like my most basic criteria, and this doesn't just apply for detailers across the board. It's like if whoever it is, right? Whether in software, whether they're e-commerce, whether it's another detailer, whether it's someone in construction and roofing, whatever, right? Like that's like a content creator and such, right? Or a business owner. If they don't have employees, if they don't have a shop or like, I'll just stick it to detailers to keep it simple. If the detailer is still working out of their home garage, if they've never had if they never got like a van, if they haven't hired anyone yet, if they're like if they're in that note, like if they hit that criteria, working at their home garage, don't have a mobile unit, haven't hired anyone, I'm just not gonna listen to them, right? Not on the detailing side, like if they have like how to detail, that's still, I'll still pay attention. But as far as like, am I gonna follow this individual and see how they run their business when they're not where I'd like to be? Of course not, because it doesn't make sense, right? If you want to go and you're in college and you want to go make it to the NFL, to the NBA, to the MLB or whatever, right? And you're watching nothing but street ball and you're watching people play in a summer league tournament and like you're 100% focused on that street ball. Well, how does it help you attain your professional career if you're not watching anyone in the professional league? So that's what I'm getting at, to where I think so I would like to see, I'd rather, not that I rather, but I do follow and watch other people that have built companies that have a team of 10, 20, 30, that have gone from, their 800 square foot, whatever, to now their 25,000 square foot warehouse. Like that's where I pay attention to, because that's where I'd want to be and that's where I'd want to follow. And again, like it's very important where you consume your information, because if you think you're getting the right information, but like if one, like if you listen to the right people, like it opens up your mind more, right? Like, are you listening to people that say, hey, there's more that you can achieve? And I'm not saying that you have to, but it's like those that it's good to listen to those that at least give you that food for thought of like, well, maybe there is more that I can do. Maybe there is more opportunity out there. Maybe there is something that, and you just start to question yourself like, well, why am I thinking like this? Well, why am I necessarily wanting to stay by myself? What am I scared of? Or is it because I haven't seen other people do it in my area? Is it because this and this? Like it makes you think differently. Whereas if you stick to the crowd of like, again, sticking to detailers here, working at the home garage, don't want to move a van, don't want to go get a shop, don't want to hire anyone, they're comfortable where they are, that's gonna breed a different style of thinking over time. And again, so like hopefully this little podcast episode here, it's like my thesis, my thing is like I want a team, because a team helps me do a lot more. And also, we've all been there. Detailing, being by yourself for 12 hours a day, not talking to anyone, not being, it's so boring. Like it's very, very, very boring when you get to the job site at 8:45. You work from 8:45 to 4 p.m. You head back home. You're cleaning the towels, washing the towels, doing the chemicals, whatever. And by 6 o'clock, it's like you're done. It's like, who have you talked to? Like you haven't seen anyone. You haven't like had like it just, that part of it is boring too, being by yourself the whole time. So like another thing that having a team is like, I'm always with people here, right? Like, yes, they're employees and we're working, but it's like we're always having fun. We shoot the hoop, we eat together, we laugh, make jokes. Like it's such a better environment and culture when there's like people around you, instead of thinking, like you're just by yourself all day. You listen to a podcast or like you watch someone's stories, but it's like interacting with other human beings on a daily basis, especially when you're able, like you yourself, because you're the business owner, you're able to set the culture and like you can build a place where you wish you had a job when you were younger. You can build a place that, that someone doesn't hate when they go to their 9 to 5 job, and it's like, again, like these are the bigger things that you can think about. Instead of saying no, I'll just stay by myself. I don't want to spend any money on the helper. No. I'm good. I'm good. I'll just half-ass everything because I don't have enough time to do everything as I'd like. You know. So again, trust me, there is no right or wrong answer. I'm not here to sell you to tell you, oh no, that guy. No, I'm not like that. I'm just this. I'm sharing how I feel, how I think. And again, I put these big disclaimers out because like in the detailing industry, you don't really see that, right? But again, to the people that I follow, that's all they're doing. All they're doing is growing, hiring more people, pushing the progress forward. But I know here in the detailing industry, it's like I got to put many disclaimers because I don't want to think I'm stepping on anyone's toes or that I'm superior or above everyone. It's like no, it's just like the people that I follow and who I talk to, like that's what they're always doing, and like that's just the level that they're on. But when I talk to detailers, it's like no, it's okay, like it's no, like it's okay, you don't have to do this, no, oh no, it's okay, you don't have to think about that, no, it's okay that, and it's like that's why here I'm sharing this episode. Of, hey, like, look, maybe you want to think bigger. Have you even had the time to think to yourself, what are your true goals, or what are your real capabilities, or what's? And here's a serious question that'll end off with: what is your true potential in life? Right? Just ponder that question for a little bit. What is your true potential in life? Are you right now at this exact moment living up to what your mom created you for? Right? Like you as the human that you are right now, if guns to your head, if someone says, if your future self, if the different universe of you came to you, right, like the multiverse is like endless amount of yous. If the other universe you came to you and said, why are you like this, or like, are you living up to your potential, like, would you give your you an honest answer and say, yes, I am literally doing everything that I can to achieve my goals? And again, I'm putting it in the context of, are you filling your potential based on your goals? I'm not saying go and hit, 200,000, 500,000 in the year. I'm just saying, if your goal is to hit $8,000 a month, are you doing everything in your power to fulfill that goal? Right? I'm not saying go hit 80,000 a month. I'm saying if your goal as of right now is to hit 5,000 a month, are you doing everything in your power? Are you maximizing your potential to hit that $5,000 a month? Right? Because I'm not here to compare goals. It's like, oh no, that's not big. No, I'm not here for that. Again, I'm not here to set any rules, boundaries. I'm not here to say, oh, that's wrong, that's right. No. Raise your goal. I'm not here to say that. I'm just saying, hey, there's a different way to think. There's a different way to act. There's a different way to hit your goals. And look, if you want to do it, the I'm not gonna say the way to think is there, and you can ponder that idea and go whichever way you think best suits you. But again, it's all based on your goals, what you want to achieve, what you'd like to do, how many hours you'd like to work, how much money you want to make, what you want out of life. If you want to travel, be with your family, do whatever. Like, there's so many other things, and it's like you have to come up with that idea. But anyways, that's gonna end it right here. I just wanted to see. I thought it'd be like a 12-minute episode, but it's almost 30 minutes now. So hopefully you learned something from this one. I hope that it just gets your mind thinking, right? Like, are you actually fulfilling your true potential? Are you maximizing your potential on a daily basis? You got to answer that yourself. I would say right now, I am not by any stretch of the imagination. I am not fulfilling my full potential. So hopefully that gives you some context of where I am and where you could be if you thought and acted and took action in a different way. All right, I'll end it right here. You can check the show notes down below or check the description box if you're watching this on YouTube for the ultimate guide to start your detailing business. It has over 10,000 words of information. And then anything else I have linked down below will be in the show notes, or if you're watching this on YouTube, then in the description box. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye-bye.